Okay, so I'm going to do a little 5 or 10 minute video on one more of these takeoff items. Let's take a look. We've done some rising walls, we've done some foundations, we've even done some external walls between in class and also online. So maybe doing a little bit of filling. We've got two types of filling. We've got filling inside the excavations. So this is in between the trench, I guess, and the inside face of the external wall or the outside face of the external wall, depending on whether it's inside of the excavations or outside the excavations. So let's take a quick look at where that is. It is in these two areas here. Again, you've got to imagine this is flipped over. So this hardcore here, essentially underneath the hardcore that I suppose is under the slab, and we've got a bit of filling between this outer side of the trench and the inside face of that rising wall. It's the same goes for here, except that kind of looks like it's excavated material. So from the inside, let's take the harder one. From the inside face, it'll be between this rising wall and this outer edge of the excavation. So just show you kind of a quick way to measure that from an on-screen perspective, 2D perspective. Click plus, and let's give it a name, filling inside of excavations. Okay, I'm going to measure per area. That's kind of what it's telling me to do here, meter squared. And I am going to give it a fill and a border. I'm also going to add some details in terms of a primary output. Now, really what I'm looking for here per an ARM description is the volume. So I'll type volume in my output name. Of course, it's going to be in the substructure since it's filling below ground floor level. It's going to be meters cubed. And what I got here as a default formula, area times height, is actually what I'm looking for. I'm measuring it as an area. I'm assigning a height, and the height I'm assigning is, if you want to go there and have a look at it, it's this 200 millimeters. Because over that 200 millimeters, then I'm going to have my reduced fill. My ground floor area is such multiplied by whatever that is, 225 millimeters high. So area times height is fine. It'll be the area measured times the default height that I'm looking for. And it's 200 millimeters or 0.2 of a meter. If you want to see exactly where that is, there it is there. So from there to there, I guess is the equivalent from there to there. So once that's done, I can click Start Takeoff. And I can go up and measure my shapes here as such. So starting on the inside face, I'm going to work my way around from one point. It doesn't need to be exactly where I start. Inside, I guess, my external wall, the inside face of my external wall, or that inner leaf, because in between that and the outer edge of the excavations is my filling. So click, going around everywhere. I'm kind of changing direction as such, or everywhere there's a corner I'm clicking on. And then back around here, and I believe this is probably the last point, double click, and I close it off. Okay, so now what I need, that's my overall area, but of course I don't have filling in that entirety of that area. I need to deduct out a shape here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go ahead and measure it first. What I need to deduct out, it's the edge of this excavation, I guess, based on what's in the detail. And again, for you, if you need to look back in your manual takeoff that you did with Figra, have a look at it. And interesting enough, actually, I clicked on the wrong point, so I can backspace. Interesting enough, see if they correspond. What you measure from a 2D perspective here on screen measurement versus what you did with Figra. So I'm working my way around that inside face of that trench, or the face of that trench, and back up here, and there's another few points. And I believe then that's my second last point here. So I'm double click it to close it, or you can go back onto the point and hit enter. So there we have basically two areas, an outside area, which I've clicked, and an inside area. Okay, so I'm going to be careful. I'm going to select the inside area because I want to cut it out or deduct it. And what I need to do is actually cut it out first. I can't delete the takeoff. It actually probably won't work. It'll just delete that takeoff and won't cut it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here to this button down here, which is combine. And up here, I'm going to click cut out. Now, you make sure that you've selected and that all the dots are shown, and that means that that item is selected. And then click down here and cut out. Okay, then highlight it again, and you can right click it and hit delete takeoff. So hopefully this will work. And now you've cut that out. So first of all, you need to cut it out, and then you need to delete it. Otherwise, you can create a cutout, but it'll still be there. So you can see exactly what I need to measure in terms of an area, and there's the volume with the 200 millimeters. So we got a couple of other items in here we need to do. So click back in my area here in terms of takeoff, click corner here, and this one is the outer edge or the inner side of this. Making sure I'm clicking on the right point, double click. And then if I want to cut out this one, there we go, double click. So that's two areas, select it, and then hit cut out, and then right click, delete takeoff, delete. So that should go there. And now we got the last item here. So again, clicking on area, and then starting with the outer edge, just similar to what you've done before. I'm doing this quick, so I mightn't be getting exactly on the points. And in fact, you can see there that I haven't, so maybe I'll backspace and click it. So I can backspace once I haven't enclosed my measurement. And there is other ways, obviously, of adjusting that once it's done as well, by clicking on the point and just dragging and dropping it to the right location. So there we go. So I think that's the outer edge of that. So with the inner edge, now this one's a little bit easier because we don't have the pads to contend with, although we do have in this little corner. And then we're working our way around. But that essentially has added that to it. I'm going to select it. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to cut it out. And then I'm going to actually right click, delete the takeoff. So what I've created there, I guess, is the inside face of my filling all around the trenches. And then the outside face is pretty straightforward because you'll just measure this face here, and then you'll also measure this face, and then you'll cut out the inside face for that filling. So what did I get there? 6.48. So it's worth having a look at that in the context of what you did with Figure in terms of its measurement. Okay, that's it for this little tutorial.